Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, and this is my Give Me 5 assignment for behavioral therapy. What is behavioral therapy? Behavioral therapy, or BT, focuses on helping someone understand how changing his or her behaviors can ultimately lead to changes in how they're feeling. The ultimate goal of BT is centered around increasing someone's positive behaviors while attempting to eliminate their negative or maladaptive behaviors. There are three fundamental assumptions of BT. The first one is that human behavior is governed by basic learning principles. Number two, humans are neither good nor evil, but they're products of their environment. And number three, that all humans can change their behaviors under the right, proper, conducive conditions. The major stages of BT, there are 4 stages. Stage 1 is classical conditioning. Stage 2 is operant conditioning. Stage 3 is social learning theory. Stage 4 is cognitive behavioral theory. Key moments and figures in the history of BT. Classical conditioning is where we start. This is a kind of learning in which a person or animal comes to associate two kinds of stimuli, one that naturally prompts the given behavior and one that does not. In 1897, Ivan Pavlov, Russian scientist, noticed that the presentation of food led to his laboratory dogs' salivation, even before the food was put into the dogs' dishes. To see if he could create this response intentionally, he paired ringing a bell with the presentation of the food. Indeed, the dog salivated after associating the bell with the food. In 1920, John Watson and Rosalie Rayner used methods of conditioning that conditioned a young orphan, little Albert, to fear a white rat. In 1958, Joseph Watt developed a technique called systematic desensitization, looking at operant conditioning, which is a method of learning by which behaviors are either rewarded or punished. Excuse me. In 1963, B.F. Skinner writes The Behavior of the Organism and introduces the introductory concept of operant conditioning. In 1948, B.F. Skinner publishes Walden 2, which is a utopian description of a society founded on the behavioral ideals and principles. And then in 1971, Skinner also publishes a book, Beyond Freedom and Dignity, which is a critique of the concept of free will. Looking at social learning theory, which argues that behaviors learn from the environment through the process of observational learning. In 1963, Albert Bandura publishes Social Learning and Personality Development, which is an incorporation of cognitive and behavioral frameworks. And in 1977, he publishes Social Learning Theory. Looking at behavioral cognitive theory, in 1976, Albert Lazarus publishes his book Multimodal Behavioral Therapy, which is a comprehensive, holistic form of psychotherapy that focuses on 7 human modalities: behavior, emotion, sensation, imagery, cognition, interpersonal relationships, and drugs and behavior. This is called the basic id. Some best practices and techniques of BT include that the treatment is action-oriented, that the client is an active participant, that they focus on the current behavior. Homework assignments are assigned to have the client practice the new behaviors. It's often brief and it's based on observational behaviors and situations. Different types of therapeutic techniques include, for classical conditioning, flooding, systematic desensitization, aversion therapy. For operant conditioning, you have token economies, contingent management, extinction activities. And in social learning, you have the modeling of desirable behaviors and traits. Criticisms of BT, the humanist Carl Rogers rejected the idea of using scientific method to examine human behavior and using experiments to quantify and control the variables, because he saw it as a artificial environment. Psychoanalysts condemn behavioral therapy because it does not take into account one's subconscious desires. And in conclusion, one thing the pre-service counselor must know about this theory is that behavioral therapies focus on using the same learning strategies that lead to the formation of unwanted behaviors, as well as the new behaviors. The behavior itself is the problem, and the goal is to teach the client new behaviors to minimize or eliminate the problematic behaviors. Thank you very much.